By the time I was 5, I had already learned a painful lesson. Love was a debt I had walked into by mistake, and I'd spend the rest of my life trying to pay it back. Ethan stood by the massive glass wall of his Chicago penthouse. Below him, the city lights sparkled like cold diamonds on a black blanket, beautiful, but frozen. He had spent his whole life building these towering skyscrapers of steel and glass, secretly hoping that if he made them strong enough, he'd finally feel solid inside. But the higher he built, the deeper the hollow in his heart became. In his pocket, the heavy paper of the invitation felt like a stone. It was for his father's big anniversary party. His father, the man who had taught Ethan how to disappear even while standing right in the middle of the room. Memory is a tricky thing. It pulled him back to that perfect childhood home in suburban Ohio. It smelled like expensive candles and fresh-cut grass, but it felt like living inside a refrigerator. In that house, silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy. It was the kind of silence where a child learns to walk on eggshells. His mother looked at him like he was a smudge on a clean window. His father only noticed him when he messed up. Ethan tried to be the perfect son, the straight A student, the one who never made a sound, but you can't build a real life on the hope that someone will finally notice you. The years turned that heartache into a suit of shiny armor. Ethan became a man who couldn't stand a single mistake, not in his buildings, and definitely not in people. His coldness wasn't because he was mean, it was because he was terrified. Everything changed when Sarah came into his office. She didn't care about his money or his title. She saw right through him. Their connection didn't happen overnight. It was slow, like a long, warm sunset. At first, it was just late nights working on projects, where he realized Sarah was the only person who didn't back down when he got quiet and icy. She saw his talent, but she loved the man underneath it. The real shift happened one night during a bad storm. The power went out, and the office went pitch black. Ethan, who never lost control, suddenly found himself unable to breathe, shaking with an old, familiar fear. He felt like that not good enough little boy again. Sarah didn't judge him. She didn't try to fix him with a speech. She just sat down on the floor next to him in the dark and said, "You know, Ethan, the most beautiful homes are the ones that have been lived in, cracks and all." That moment of just being there was the first time Ethan felt like he didn't have to be perfect to be worthy. For the first time, he stopped building walls and started talking. He told her about the ruins inside him. Sarah didn't see a failure. She saw a human being who had been holding his breath for 30 years. "At 5 years old, you didn't owe anyone a thing," she whispered. "The fact that they couldn't love you isn't your fault, Ethan. It was their loss. You aren't broken. You've just been waiting a long time for someone to turn the lights on." Her love was the first thing that made him feel safe enough to take off that heavy armor. It wasn't an easy road. He had to learn how to forgive himself for not being perfect. But for the first time, he wasn't doing it alone. On the night of his father's party, Ethan didn't go. Instead, he stood on a quiet beach, listening to the waves. He took that invitation, the last piece of his need for his father's approval, and lit it with a small flame. He watched it turn to ash and vanish into the wind. "You know," he said, looking at Sarah, his voice finally soft and steady, "I spent my whole life thinking I was defined by my scars. I thought I was just the sum of their mistakes." He smiled, a real smile that actually reached his eyes. "But I get it now. We aren't what they did to us. We are what we choose to build for ourselves. Your scars aren't something to be ashamed of. They are proof that you survived. Your story might have started with pain, but you are the one who gets to write the ending. If someone couldn't see how special you are, that's because they were blind, not because you weren't shining." Real strength isn't about being perfect. It's about having the courage to let someone see the real you. You deserve to be loved just because you are you, not because of what you do or what you provide, but simply because you exist. And that is a right you've had since the very first day you were born.